Okay, it says that we're streaming live on Facebook now. So welcome everybody. Happy Friday to Beyond the Cloud for November 20th. Hope everybody's had a wonderful week. And our question of the day is going to be, what is your must-have app stack? So I mean, like your absolute, your take it or leave it. So if somebody will not deal with them, that will be a deal breaker for you, that every client that you have has to have, or that you work with has to have, or you won't work with them. So I will go first. Tanya Hiltz from Cloud Bookkeeping, Cloud Business Services. You'd think I get used to that. We only rebranded about 4 months ago. Anyway, and founder of Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp. And mine is QBO, absolutely. Receipt Bank, auto review is the new one, but that's behind the scenes. Clients don't know it, but it's added on to every single client. So those are my three absolutes when dealing with the clients. Everything else I'm fairly flexible on, or it's completely back end as an office app, I would say. All right, so I'm just going to go counter. No, I'm going to go clockwise in order here, I think. So we'll go Amy. You can go next. And you're
I'm never first. So wow, I was not expecting that. Even though my name starts with an A, so I was always first alphabetically. So Amy Lewis Bookkeeping Inc. in Aurelia, Ontario. It's a gorgeous sunny day here. I'll soon get all the sun in my eyes, which is awesome. I don't necessarily have a stack that everybody has to use. I will not work with any accounting software other than QuickBooks, specifically QuickBooks Online. I will take a client or two with desktop, but they have to be hosted by me. I won't travel. I work with a lot of solopreneurs. I work with people that don't necessarily need a bookkeeper yet, but I still want them to be on that track so they understand. So I kind of spread out a little bit with that. But if they want to use Sage or Xero or something like that, they're not my client. I deal directly with QuickBooks. Another thing is Receipt Bank. If they don't want to use Receipt Bank, I'm sorry, but I don't do paper, period. But I will do things like Excel and Wave and stuff with the intention that we will eventually get to a bookkeeping software. Just they don't necessarily need to have that cost every month if they're not there. But that's like, I guess my stack. And like on the back end, I've gotten really used to Airtable. It's amazing. And ClickUp is like my godsend. And I have, especially with after Tanya has helped me, but it was already a huge part for like before she got onto it. So that's what I use.
And I will actually be doing open videos for the public and webinars on Airtable once I get some stuff sorted out. So yeah, so that'll be really exciting once I have stuff to share, because Airtable is awesome. Yay. Anyway, sorry. Yay. So Carol, you're next. Oh, we can't hear you, Carol.
That's a first. I'm Carol Kostachuk with Carol On Call Office Assistants here in sunny Maple Ridge, BC. And my must-haves are QuickBooks Online. I actually only support the Online Plus. And I also Receipt Bank. And that was sort of the reason why I went with that, because I had a conversation yesterday with a client complaining, which everything is always end up paying anyways. And he said, well, maybe I'll just stop using it. And I said, well, that's our go-to here. So it is your choice if you want to stop using it, but then you'll also have to find a new bookkeeper.
Yeah.
And he went, oh. So that and Rewind. So those are the three are must-haves. We pay for they're all supported through our pricing packages, but those are the three that are a must-have. And then our behind the scenes now with the auto review and playing with ClickUp and looking at Airtable, but those three are the must-haves.
Awesome. All right, Jessica, you're up next.
Hi all, Jessica Fox, Bandora Fox on Facebook from Florida Virtual Bookkeeper in not so sunny Florida today. My main app stack that's a deal breaker is really QuickBooks Online. I will consider taking some clients with simple needs in Zero, but I do not do cleanups or anything complex in Zero because I know what I'm good at and I specialize in that. In terms of other apps, I have flexibility as long as they are willing to be paperless and have email communication. I am not the person for you if you want to call and expect me to answer the phone. So that's that. Everything else, I'm pretty flexible on as long as they're not emailing me their statements.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Lawrence, you are next.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lawrence Fox from beautiful downtown Thornhill, Ontario, in the sunniest basement in all of Thornhill. Although it does look like the sun is beginning to set or get cloudy outside. But okay, so definitely QuickBooks Online and or QuickBooks Desktop. I still have a few clients on desktop, although I access them remotely using AnyDesk. That's my preferred dial-in software. Dropbox and or Google Drive to get stuff to me. HubDoc, depending on the client, if there's a lot of stuff to fetch or a lot of invoices. Yesterday, I actually started playing with QuickBooks' own receipt software for some of
Receipt
my clients
capture.
that have a small number of receipts to see whether or not it might work for them. I don't know yet. And I'm taking a look at auto review as a maybe. And on the back office side, God, I have no idea yet. I mean, I hear everybody else talk about ClickUp and 17, and I haven't decided yet on the management software or the practice management software for my back office. So.
Oh yeah, ClickUp is amazing. Airtable is amazing. 17 Hats, amazing. Used for different things than ClickUp. We use, and yeah, 17. Yeah, those are my back office must-haves. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. Okay, EJ.
I was last.
I forgot that until your
okay.
name started to pop out.
Okay, I'm good. I'm EJ Sheeler from actually sunny Calgary, Alberta. It's sort of sunny, but cool. Citadel Business Services, and I'm just figuring out all the options. So I'm kind of taking notes as you guys are all answering, but for sure, QuickBooks Online, I definitely want to be paperless. I'm figuring out and working with someone hopefully next week as to how to store, like basically be paperless and get all the data that without having to get emails and that sort of thing. And so far, Receipt Bank seems to be the option that a lot of people like. So I'm just figuring it out, but thanks for all the comments.
Well, and that's as you get started on your own. But yeah, because when you're working for somebody else, you're working with what they tell you, and you might not necessarily mesh with that. So when you go out on your own, you're like, ooh, I can now choose what I like better, and you will. What I use now. I mean, Receipt Bank was on my list. Then I flipped to HubDoc, and then I went back to Receipt Bank. Actually, I use both Receipt Bank and HubDoc, and now I'm just Receipt Bank. And I stayed HubDoc for the bank fetching, but the bank fetching is coming in QBO, and those that there's issues with, there was issues with HubDoc and the bank fetching as well too. So but you get to play and hearing what other people use, and that's good for that. And then but you'll find that it changes, and it'll be like, oh, shiny new toy, maybe I'll try this, and then do you want to keep it or not, right? So
Good thing Stacy's not here.
oh my gosh, absolutely. Stacy
I
be like, no more shiny new toys.
That.
Stacy, when you're watching, it's not that we don't love you, it's that we don't want to overwhelm you with shiny new toys. All right, Kim, you're next.
Hi, everybody. Kim Lafayette from Beyond Bookkeeping Business Services. My absolute deal breakers that are client facing is QBO and Receipt Bank. Like Carol said, I have them worked into my pricing packages. even for my clients that are hourly, I just add a half hour of time to my bill for them to cover those. But I have started value pricing my last few clients, so I have that worked into it. Behind the scenes, I've just recently added auto review to all of my clients, and it will also be added to everybody that I bring on. And internally, I've just switched to ClickUp after using Asana for 7 years. Pretty happy with ClickUp so far. Certainly not using it to anywhere near what it's capable of doing, but getting there. I have sort of my bare minimum setup that I need to be able to function and not miss anything. And then also Microsoft Share. I'm an Office 365 user, so SharePoint is my file sharing program that I use with my clients. And Teams is what I use to communicate internally with my team. Trying to figure out how I can add external users there. I know there's a way, but I keep getting an error message when I try and do it because I'd like to get my clients communicating on Teams as well.
Right. Awesome.
Oh, and I'm in the market for reporting software. That's why I was asking about Fathom versus Spotlight.
Oh.
So,
Okay. Yeah. We didn't really get into. Didn't Leanne answer that for you?
yeah, so even though it's not necessarily a deal breaker for every client, if anybody wants to pitch in about what advanced reporting software they're using, I'm curious to hear about that. I'm in the market for one.
So we use, just to add to that quickly, Sift is really good. That I find for the basics. So we actually have Sift added on to every client. I haven't spent as much time in it yet because I'm still juggling other things, and that's gone to the bottom. Jessica's using Sift as well. And then I'm going to start to use Fathom for the advanced reporting. So that's only going to be in those clients that are actually doing advisory services with me, like the higher end advisory. Otherwise, we'll be using Sift.
Okay.
So because Sift you can get, I don't know if you still can right now, but it was $129. I do believe it's US a month for unlimited clients. It's pretty attractive, and they've done several changes and upgrades since I've been back in there. So maybe next week we can have like deeper discussion on that, on some of them. Excuse me. Okay, Jennifer. Last but not least.
I am Jennifer Solon, Time Advantage Accounting Solutions out of Red Deer, Alberta. I'm in the same boat as EJ. I don't really have any go-to. I've been using QuickBooks Desktop for 21 years, so that was always my love. I'm 2.5 years into QBO, so I'm liking that as for the team and that sort of stuff. I'm still putting some stuff on desktop, and I have clients who bring me their desktop or send me their accountant version. I have a small handful on Sage who I try really hard to move over to QuickBooks Online. But other than that, I don't really touch anything. But I don't have any deal breakers, but I'm not in a position really to do that either. So I'm trying to use all these. Again, I'm listening to everything you guys are recommending. We've started with ClickUp, but we haven't quite got it going as well as we'd like it to be. But that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, perfect. So the other thing we bring up really quickly is 17 Hats. For those 17 Hats users, there is a 17 Hats Black Friday sale on today. It is absolutely amazing. I will make sure, if somebody has it now that wants to put it in the Facebook group, great. If not, I will make sure that when we're done, I will pop on there. Just if I open it right now, you guys are going to hear, me talking twice, and then that gets very confusing. So I won't do that now, but yeah, their Black Friday for new members, lifetime membership is $12.50 US. Existing members is $1,000 US. Now I just want to point out that last year or the year before, maybe it's 2 years, I bought their lifetime membership, but it was $99 or $9.99. So it's only gone up $1 for the lifetime membership. And I'm sure it was 2 years ago that I bought it, but there is only 100 available at that price. And then they will credit you back. So if you've purchased, it's all on there on the website, that if you've purchased a 5 or 10-year plan, they'll credit you back. If you just extended it, they'll give you credits or refunds for it. So there's all kinds of stuff in there. So any 17 Hats user, that's great. If you're looking into it, amazing deals for sure. I know I use it. Jessica uses it. I think Kim uses it. Carol uses it.
Oh, hands down. I mean,
yeah.
When I jumped on that lifetime one last year, thinking, you know what?
Don't regret it.
It paid for itself already.
It has, absolutely.
The amount of stuff that I've sent out that I can, especially with that batch thing now, where you can just boom, 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 all the clients batch, send, boom, done, gone.
Yes,
whew.
Exactly. That's
you
beautiful.
know, can send out like 15 emails in 2 seconds.
Yep,
As long as it takes me to click.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's awesome with that. So yeah, they're coming with new features, and then Jessica found a new feature, which actually, if you can pop back on Jessica for a second, I would love to, because that's not, I went back and I looked again. There's actually something new. It's you had it highlighted about to insert the token, and I didn't catch that right away. And I'm like, what? So what does that do? Have you used it yet?
Yes. So
Hey.
I know that Kelly also was confused, and that was my mistake. I was so excited. I didn't like specify in my post. So yes, I was referring to now, as of this week, you can insert tokens in the product title.
Okay.
So now when I insert the token and I create a quote, it automatically will say file review for ABC Ltd, or whatever the business name is.
Okay.
Any other custom fields or other fields that you have
Beautiful.
created can be added in the description. So I could say, for example, monthly meeting with insert contact name, and it will say monthly meeting with John Smith. And that will just add an extra step of customization to those documents. So I'm very excited about that. I've been in between projects editing all of my services to add tokens to them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Now, as well, just to jump in real quick, and then Kim's got a question, then we can, she's got to leave, and then we can jump back. But Jessica had a great idea, and I hope that's okay to bring this up here, the panel idea. I was gonna say, if not, I guess I just let the cat out of the bag anyway. that she had put a post earlier that there's so many of us that seem to be power users to have a panel of it. And so I know Kelly Parks, myself, obviously it was Jessica's idea, so I don't think she would be all on board for it.
It was actually Kelly's idea.
Oh, was it Kelly's? Okay.
I just said, I wish I could get together with power users so I can be mind blown about what I did not think to do. Because I notice when I sometimes show things to people, they go, oh, you can do that. So I know things to teach me as well.
Awesome.
Because if there's a part that isn't
teach each other.
I have an issue of things one issue that isn't working, and I'd love to be able to be on a panel to say, hey, how do I fix this?
Right. So then if you're in the workflow watering hole, add your name to that, because Kelly, it looks like she's going to be getting everything together. I literally been on Facebook all of 3 seconds today. I saw that, went and answered, jumped back off, other than this Facebook Live. So yeah, that's awesome. And then just putting in real quick that, yes, I had said earlier before we came live that actually Kelly and I did a video together as to the different ways we used it. And I had no idea, Jessica, that Jessica put in the comments that that's actually what prompted her to look at 17 Hats in the first place. And that's very cool.
I had actually been considering 17 Hats for months because, there's app overload, so many things to try and demo. And it was watching the different ways that you and Kelly used it that made it click in my mind, like, oh, this is how it can apply to my business. So he was watching that replay. I didn't even watch it live. I found it on YouTube. He was watching that replay that made me take the leap finally. And man, Thank you, because it's been 3 years of weathered bliss. I did buy the lifetime deal. And when I did, I said, it's marriage. We're in it for the long haul.
Yep.
No regrets. I mean, I was just talking to earlier today. I signed up for 17 Hats when I have 5 clients. I have 37 now. And I'm still working the same number of hours because that's how much time it saves me.
Wow, that's
my VA has nothing to do except special projects. Like, hey, can you please create a brochure, or can you create this graphic? There's no need for her to do anything on my day-to-day because 17 Hats takes care of it. So anybody in my very endorsed testimonial.
That's Awesome. Well, we actually started really endorsing it in Bootcamp as soon as you could share the templates. Because before then, I'm like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? A tool is a tool is a tool. I don't want to tell you what tools you should be using because you're going to use what you're comfortable with. And now I'm like, hey, you copy and paste, it's going to save you so much time, like just to be able to download the templates. So,
Importing templates is so quick and easy. It's like copy, paste, click, and they're there.
yeah.
I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
here's an example. I just sent an email off to a client about what we talked about earlier about the Sue's not quite ready yet for period 8. And then I went, wait a minute. So I copied it, put it into a single email in 17 apps. I don't have to do that again. So the
That's
next
right, I never
client
read the
asks
same
me, why
email
isn't this
twice.
done? I can just send that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's amazing. And then Lawrence had a question on that, which we're going to swing back to because Kim's got to leave. And so, Kim, she's been waiting for like an hour before this started to ask this question. So, Kim,
Lawrence,
go away.
Lawrence has to leave too, though. But
Oh, right.
quickly, what everybody was saying about power users, I find no matter what the program is, even QBO, even Receipt Bank, whatever, whenever I watch another bookkeeper doing their day-to-day stuff, I learn something. I learn a shortcut. I'm like, hey, I didn't know that was there because the software is changing all the time. So yeah, I find I learn something all the time. But my question, and I'm actually glad Lawrence is here because of his presentation that he did last week. Scheduling software for my calendar. Zoom.ai has a lifetime deal on AppSumo right now. I'm currently using Microsoft Bookings. It does the job, but it's pretty rudimentary. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles and stuff like that. And one of the features that I miss with Microsoft Bookings is I used to use Boomerang, where I could do sort of ad hoc appointments where they didn't necessarily click the link to see my availability, but rather I could send them, here's 3 choices, pick one of them. And that way I could pick and choose from my calendar of what times I wanted to book that person for. So I'm just wondering if anybody is currently using Zoom AI or have they heard about it? You know, what I know Calendly is a big one, Acuity is another big one. What is everybody using?
Use Acuity, but I'm actually looking at Bookings because I already have 365. So I'm switching my Acuity and my share file to the things in Office 365 Business to save more money.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't switch to a program that required a monthly subscription, but I figured since this one is a lifetime deal and I think it's like $49 or something, because Bookings is very basic. It's included in my Office 365, but it is very basic. And even the layout of how the confirmation messages look and stuff like that, they're just not as pretty as I've seen other softwares do.
That could be on Acuity then.
Yeah, so I wouldn't switch to something that I had to subscribe to monthly, but when I saw this lifetime, because Book Like a Boss is one that I absolutely fell in love with, but I missed the lifetime deal on it. So I thought now that this one has a lifetime deal and it looks pretty similar to Book Like a Boss, I thought I'd see if anybody had any experience.
Are you in Book Like a Boss's mailing list?
Pardon me?
Are you in Book Like a Boss's Facebook group or mailing list?
No.
You should be, because sometimes from time to time they'll bring lifetime deals for a limited time. That's how I was able to take advantage. They had a 96-hour or 72-hour lifetime deal last Black Friday, and that's when I got it.
Oh,
Okay.
Every time they do it, it goes up in price a little, but it's still worth it because it's lifetime. So I am using it for everything except those ad hoc meetings. You saw my post in the workflow watering hole asking the same question about Zoom.ai, because my tool that I love so much, it's perfect.
Yeah, the one with such
bought out, and they're sunsetting it, and what they're replacing it with doesn't have the perfect features, the cool features, what has me spoiled. I've been too spoiled by these features for too long, and now I need something.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
Book Like a Boss doesn't have that ad hoc setting.
That's the one thing that they don't have. I use them for everything else, but like Meeting Bird, what I'm using right now, it has a Gmail plugin. So even if you click on my link and it doesn't show any appointments, I can just select in the calendar, okay, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4:30, and I have a template. So I don't have to configure everything. I just select a meeting template and it adds everything else. So in like 3 clicks, I can give somebody some on the spot appointments if they want to jump on a quick call or what's in my public calendar doesn't fit their needs.
Yeah, that's what I was using Boomerang for, but I found Boomerang the service wasn't reliable. Sometimes my screen would freeze and it would take forever for it to pull my availability for me to select appointments. Like there was just always technical problems with it. So, okay.
And I did give a very quick look at Microsoft Booking, and I like you, I found it to be, it's almost as if, oh, gee, we have to create this app because somebody else made one. So we'll do the barest bones that exists.
Yeah.
And so that way we can check it off our list, but it's not really, it's like so many other Microsoft programs. It's not really designed for the real world.
Yeah.
Or you have to wonder if Microsoft says they eat their own dog food and they must use it internally, that how the hell they arrange meetings within Microsoft, I have no idea.
And have you looked at Zoom AI?
No, I haven't looked at that one. I looked
Okay.
at Calendly, I looked at Acuity, and then I just ran out of time and patience.
Okay.
But as I said, there's probably 25 different booking apps. I'd never heard of Book Like a Boss till Jessica mentioned it. So.
It's a pretty one. It's very pretty. Jessica, are you going to get the Zoom one?
I've been on the fence about it.
Yeah, me too.
I've been like, okay, it's a good price and I could get my money back in 60 days. But at the same time, from the answers that I've gotten so far, it doesn't check all of my boxes. And
Yeah.
I am happy with Book Like a Boss otherwise. So if I cannot get the ad hoc meetings and the customized email confirmations, it will probably be a waste of my time. But it's got some cool features though, because you can tell your AI assistant, hey, schedule a phone call with Bob, and it'll email Bob and send Bob the times to select. That sounds cool.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I got to jump off because my wage point person is jumping in here. So.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
I also have to go. We'll see
bye.
everybody next week.
Then you know what? We'll talk more next week then, Lawrence, the click up to the 17 hats difference, because they're both very, very different.
Very.
All right. Well, have a great week, everybody then. Great weekend.
Are we all leaving?
It's 4:30.
Okay.
Some of the, yeah, I actually do have, I've got somebody I sent flowers today who was sitting there waiting for me to call her. She's like, was this you? There was no card. So yeah, I put a smile on her face, made her
Have a
day.
good
So anyway,
weekend.
have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.